Got it.
Morning, good morning.
Very good morning to you, sir.
Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I'm able to hear you. Sir,
Okay,
am
great.
I audible? Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you, Professor. Professor, is it okay? May I request you to switch on the video if it is not a problem?
Yes, I'm trying to do that. Yes. Can you see me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much. It's a great opportunity, Professor.
Okay, let me just do some setting. I think everything is looking fine.
Yes, absolutely. I'm able to see your great office. Your table is full of papers, and it is very nice of you that you're giving us this kind of time. I mean, I can't express in words how lucky we are. Thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you. I believe it would take half an hour to maximum 1 hour.
Yeah, exactly, Professor. 30 minutes would be great. That would be great.
Okay, and this would be a video recorded.
Actually,
or you will convert it into the text.
Then we'll convert it into a text, and then we'll send it across to you. We will ensure that you are very comfortable, and then we'll go to print.
Okay, great.
So Professor, I am actually leaving on 21st May. To California to participate in the space technology exhibition. For the printing, I'm going to print on 2nd or 3rd of May. The printer will take about 7 or 8 days. So whatever we discuss, Professor, today, we will make it into a compact article, compact interview, and then send it across to Sir for Sir's approval.
Okay, that will
this will be a bulletin exclusively on Indian aerospace, space exploration and defense. The show, Space Technology Show, focuses more on space exploration. We have had the fortune of interacting with Professor Hariom Vats, a former scientist of PRL, a very senior gentleman who is now with an NGO, founder of SCRF. We run something similar to that in Chennai. It is called Explore the Space. So Explore the Space is a B2B space exploration awareness entity. And we have a business entity which is called the Global Trade Driver. So together we are participating in this show. So Professor, we would like to know from you what makes anybody call PRL as the cradle of space industry in India.
Okay, as you know, PRL is one of the institute or the institute established in the year 1947 by Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. 1947, as you all know, is the year of India's independence. So very soon after India became independent, on 11th of November 1947, PRL was established by Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. He was very keen that space sector or space technology and space research should be initiated within the country. And after completing his PhD from Cambridge, when he returned back to India, he started the physical research laboratory. If you look at the whole space sector within the country, all started from PR, the physical system. So from 1947 to 50s to 60s, he was aiming at developing the rocketry program, the satellite program, and the communication program within it. So Dr. Sarabhai and Dr. Bhava together were working to have this space program established within the country. In 1962, we have the establishment of the INCOSPAR. INCOSPAR means Indian Committee on Space Research. And with that, the space program got fully established.
Okay.
You must be aware that in 1963,
yes,
on 21st of November, India has the first rocket launch from Thumba, that is
in Kerala. Okay.
In Kerala, right.
In Kerala. Okay.
That was the first rocket launch from India.
From India. Okay. Okay. Okay.
And the payloads or the experiments which are flown were developed in Kerala.
Okay. Oh, okay. 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 Okay.
And before that itself, we had Dr. Kalam working in PRL.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Dr. Professor U.R. Rao,
Okay. Okay.
started the satellite program in Bangalore.
Yes, in Bangalore.
He was a full-fledged professor, and he was the student of Professor Sarabhi. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So if you look at the whole space program, whether you talk about rocketry program or satellite program or the communication program, all started within PRL. And then came out of PRL. And that is why PRL is called as the cradle of space science.
Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. So you have some kind of an academy there where courses are taught, or is it a research laboratory?
This is a full-fledged research laboratory where research is done in various domains of space sciences and allied physics.
Okay. Okay.
Initially, it is all started with the cosmic rays, that is the domain of research of Dr. Sarabhi.
Okay.
And atmospheric science, which was the domain of the research of the first director of PRL.
Okay.
So, after that, it all grew into various other areas like radio science, solar physics, nuclear physics, and then astronomy, astrophysics, and atomic molecular physics, geosciences. So different fields are added together as this progresses. In fact, I don't know whether you're aware about, but the plasma physics program started in PRL in early 80s, and later on, this PPP, plasma physics program, grew so much that it became an independent institute, which is now called as Institute of Plasma Research.
Which is a part of PRL?
No, it is under Department of Atomic Energy now, because it is in Bhat, very close to Ahmedabad. So this institute is doing research in fusion, plasma fusion, and things like that. So it became a part of Department of Atomic Energy. So that's why many institutes actually came about, or in fact the ISRO or Department of Space is an outcome of PRL.
Okay, I understand. So if for a layman, if the understanding is correct, the research happens in PRL and the building and the execution happens in Thiruvananthapuram, Bangalore. Is it like that, Professor? Where does the building block take place?
Actually, now the space program of India has grown to a very large extent. We have various centers across the country. We have largely the rocketry program driven in Trivandrum, where we have Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, we have Rocket Propulsion System Center, we have Sriharikota, where we take the launch now. We don't do further big rocket launch from Thumba actually, because it is in the west coast. So we have to actually launch from the east coast, the bigger rockets. And that's why later on the whole rocketry program for bigger launches started in Sriharikota, which is a small island very close to Chennai. And the satellite program, or basically building the satellites, it all started in Peenya in Bangalore. Now we have Professor U.R. Rao Satellite Center in Bangalore, which was earlier called as ISAC.
True.
And in Ahmedabad, we have a Space Application Center, which is basically developing sensors for flying on the satellites. And then in Bangalore, we have LEOS, which is a laboratory for electro-optic systems, which is basically developing optical systems and electro-optical systems for satellites. Then in Bangalore, we have ISTRAC, which is basically tracking and commanding station, which a center which basically takes care of control of
The
the satellites
orbit.
which are in
Okay,
orbit,
okay,
right?
Okay.
And command them, including the planetary missions like Chandrayaan, Mangalyaan,
Okay. Okay.
and Chandrayaan 2 and things like that.
Okay.
So there are many, centers involved at different places, and then we have center in Lucknow, in Bhopal, in Hassan, Delhi,
Okay.
and PRL itself. If you look at, we have four, four campuses.
Okay.
And in addition to the main campus from where I'm talking to you right now, we have another campus in Ahmedabad, which is about 5 kilometers from here, which is called as the Kaltej campus.
Okay.
In addition, we have Udaipur Solar Observatory, which is in the Udaipur,
Rajasthan. Okay.
in Rajasthan. And then in Rajasthan, we also have an observatory, which is an optical and infrared telescope at Mount Abu, which is at one of the highest hills of the Aravalli range in Mount Abu.
Okay. Professor, you are mentioning about Sriharikota makes me ask this question. There is a lot of talk going on about a second launch pad happening in Kulasekara in Thoothukudi district in Tamil Nadu. How far is that? Can I ask that? I mean, they say that it will be good to have another launch pad. So where do we stand there, Professor?
It is advantageous to have multiple launch pads.
Okay.
Sriharikota itself, we have 2 launch pad and one more is coming up, because India is now going for a human space program with the Gaganyaan mission.
Yes, Professor.
Deeper down south of India, as we move, we come closer to the equator. And the advantage with that is that you don't have to do many maneuvers, which is required to be done now. When we launch from Sriharikota.
Yes. Okay.
So it saves us fuel, and which in turn translates into larger payloads or larger load, which can be carried by the
Okay.
So that's the advantage which we have.
Okay.
Strategically, also it is useful to have 2 launch pads.
Okay. And it is happening. It is on the cards. And we see that happening in the next 3 or 4 or 5 years. The second one at.
It may happen. I'm not sure about the timeline, right? Probably Chairman ISRO may be knowing it better. But I know that it is going to be very useful for the country.
Okay. Sure. Professor, I had the great privilege of watching your YouTube video of your presentation in Indian Institute of Tropology. I saw that, where you made a very good presentation on Mangalyaan and Chandrayaan, and the role that your good self and PRL played. Could you please throw some light on that, on the role played by PRL under your leadership for Mangalyaan and Chandrayaan?
Chandrayaan 1, as you all know, is the first Indian lunar mission. Or you can also say as the first planetary mission of India. It all started because India during late 90s and early 20s has the capability to develop our own satellites, our own rockets, and launching it from our own soil. So we decided that we can undertake a mission to Moon. It is our closest neighbor, celestial neighbor. And there are many compelling reasons to do that, because when we started talking about this mission to Moon around 98, 99 time frame, not many missions were being planned for. And after this Apollo's missions of human landing, there was a hiatus, So we thought that there's a rich area to be explored on the Moon. And that's how the first mission to Moon, the Chandrayaan 1. Chandrayaan, Chandra and Yan. So Chandra means moon and Yan means spacecraft. So that's how the word Chandrayaan is. And PRL, the former director of PRL, Professor J.N. Goswami, was the principal scientist of this mission. And I was actually at that time, I was in
Thiruvananthapuram.
I was in
You were at the space. You were at the space laboratory.
Space Physics Laboratory. Yes.
Yeah, Space Physics Laboratory. Okay.
Chandrayaan-1 became an iconic mission because it discovered water on the moon.
Yeah.
Till that time, we were all thinking that moon is bone dry, there is no water on the moon. And Chandrayaan-1 told all the scientists across the world that there is a water on the moon, and it is in ample amount. In addition, of course, Chandrayaan-1 discovered many other things, including recent volcanism or tectonism, some new types of rocks and minerals, as well as mini magnetospheres, which is basically a kind of shield which is created by a planet like Earth, which has a global. So around the Earth, because Earth has an atmosphere and magnetic field, there is an ionosphere, an atmosphere, and a magnetosphere. It basically shields the charged particles coming from the sun. But in the case of moon, there is no atmosphere and there is no global magnetic field. So there is no global atmosphere, or ionosphere, or a magnetosphere. But it has the localized magnetic fields in certain regions.
In certain regions.
These pockets can produce a mini magnetosphere to shield those regions from energetic particles coming from the sun. That was a discovery for the moon, coming from the Chandrayaan. So there were many results which came out from the Chandrayaan. And they're all in open literatures, and scientists are well aware about that. Talking about the Mangalyaan mission, I can tell you that it is in orbit around the Mars now. It's still working, even after 7.5 years. And Mangalyaan made India the first country in the world to have a successful insertion of an orbiter around the Mars in the first attempt.
The first attempt. Great.
Till that time, nobody has ever reached Mars in the first attempt. So that has been also hailed by the government of India. Because it was a technological feat. And if you look at the back of 2,000 rupees note, you will see the picture of Mangalyaan. So
that's a great achievement, Professor. And hats off to you and your team. Leaders like you, scientific leaders like you, are an inspiration for generations to come. And hats off to you. Please do accept. And moving on, Professor, you said about the moon, what we see in the plains of moon. How far is India, or for that matter, any other country, making use of the material in moon, or how do we put that into use so that mankind is benefited? Can we tap minerals from moon? Is that possible, or is manufacturing in moon possible? Does it make economical? Is it economically viable? How are we going to make use of that?
Actually, this is a part of a program which is called ISRU, In Situ Resource Utilization. So because if you want to carry everything from the planet Earth to the moon, or for that matter to any other planet, for example, Mars, it becomes very costly. So what you have to do is to carry the bare minimum, which is required, and then utilize the resources available there to manufacture what you need. So it's actually discovery of water is one of the very important aspects, because if you have to carry all the water from the Earth for the survival of humans on the moon itself, it becomes a costly affair. Second thing is now you have to think about developing some kind of infrastructure which is required to safeguard the humans which are staying there. Right? For that, you have to use the soil, the clay, or the regolith, which you call
the water.
And manufacture using that something which is useful for making
further exploration
for habitat.
For habitat.
It is not a question of going now. We can easily go there. We have gone in Apollo. We means we are talking about the humanity.
The humanity.
Right. So humans have already gone in 70s and 60s, to the moon. Going is not a challenge now. It's a challenge of surviving there for a longer period and start having a habitat.
Fine. Okay.
So that is where you have to utilize the resources which is available there. For that to happen, you should know what is available where.
Fine.
Right?
Okay.
So that is why, a lot of countries are now putting emphasis on going and doing surveillances of the surface morphology, topology, mineralogy, to know what is available where, and where are the regions you can actually tap water also.
Okay.
Right? So that is a part of the studies which is going on by different countries, including India, where we have the Chandrayaan 2 mission in orbit now. We have been in orbit now from September 2019, right? And it is working very well. We are also talking about landing mission, the Chandrayaan 3, because we could not have a proper landing in the Chandrayaan 2 mission, the lander part. So we are going with the Chandrayaan 3 mission, where we will be having a good landing. And a rover will actually come out and move on to the lunar surface, which will basically do in situ measurements at different locations to provide us ground truth information, what we are getting from the orbit. Okay. So that is the kind of work which is going on.
Professor, we understand. We also saw your very inspiring and impressive profile of professor. You had spent about 2 to 3 years in NASA. We are now in 2022. We also kind of remember the various forces and counter forces that were in play when India was trying to develop the cryogenic engine. But then we feel that we will have to look ahead. So, as someone following India and USA's cooperation, I personally feel that there is a lot for both the countries to be benefited if they cooperate and work together. Can we have your valuable opinion on Indo-US space cooperation, where not only NASA and ISRO, but various companies, the various vendors of NASA and ISRO are also, playing a role there?
I think that's a very good question. We have already seen the two nations coming together. If you really look at how the space program in India got developed, the first rocket which I was just mentioning on 21st of November 1963, the Nike Apache rocket was a US made rocket. It was launched from Tumba. So the space program had a
US connection
called bilateral cooperation coming right from the first stages.
Great.
You must have heard about the EyeSight program, which was basically the American satellite was moved over India to have a television program casted at the time of Dr. Sarabhai to show to the country that satellites are very useful for the country, where you can simultaneously address many very large population within the country at different locations, even deep down into the villages. Right. So the space cooperation between the two countries has been happening over the decades. Chandrayaan 1 mission, we had experiments flown from NASA. And even in Chandrayaan 2 lander, we had a small component from the NASA. Even for the upcoming missions, when we talk about mission to Venus or Mars, we are talking about cooperations. Because space exploration is something where one needs cooperation. Particularly when we talk about planetary exploration, where we really go to other planet, or other planetary body, for example, the moon or Mars or comets or asteroids, or to Jupiter and Venus, then it becomes a very costly affair. And it is always good to pool the resources within the world to look at the science objectives, as well as to bring out the good information which is useful for humanity. So space cooperation has been happening within the two countries, as well as two agencies, ISRO and NASA. ISRO also collaborates with many other agencies in US, like NOAA and NSF. So it's a multilateral cooperation going on in the two nations at different
At different levels. Okay.
Different levels. When you talk about private players coming into pictures, yes, private players are also now coming into picture, particularly with Indian space sector getting opened up.
Exactly.
And there is a good opportunity for both the countries' private players also coming into it.
Okay, okay. Professor, may I request Professor to indicate certain areas of great opportunities for the Indian and US private players to work together? Can I request that? Are there areas which Professor would like to indicate?
See, one part is, first of all, Indian industry itself has been contributing into India's space program. If you look at whether it is rocketry program or satellite programs, there are big countries like Godrej, L&Ts, which have been providing various subsystems, which is required for India's space program. So the contribution of Indian space industry into space program of India has been tremendous.
Okay.
Now, with the government coming up with in space, Indian Space Promotion and Authorization Center, there are many startups which is coming up within the country, where the new entrepreneurs, are interested to explore their contribution into the India space program. And the reason for that is that if you have to grow exponentially, you need very large population to take part in it. And that is why, the ecosystem has to be built up within the country to give this growth. Because ISRO as an entity has a given limitations, right? So you need very large pool of people coming together. Now, when you talk about how do these contributions can come up, they can come up either in terms of developing subsystems of the rockets, subsystems of the satellites, satellite themselves, instrumentations, payloads, right? Robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, right? Or even talking about strategic sectors where we talk about material technology or kinds of material development, which has to take place. Because when you have to grow, you have to start looking at lighter and strength.
Lighter and stronger metals.
Stronger materials, right? So you need to develop those kind of materials. There are requirements for extremely extreme hot conditions where you have to be at cold temperatures. So there has to be thermal insulations. Because when the rocket is burning, there's a huge temperature. But there are other things which has to be very cool temperatures, right? Electronics cannot be at that 4,000 kelvins, right? So that means you need to have various kind of R&D, research and development happening within the country, which also can be contributed by the private players and entities. We also talk about data, for example, right? There's a huge amount of data which comes, whether it is remote sensing, oceanography, about weather, meteorology, disaster, soil distribution, agriculture, forestry, fires. So those kind of data has to be mined. There are many people who are actually started working in these areas.
Exactly.
Then comes the area of electronics. Development of chips. Development of special algorithms. And for example, we called what we called this fabs, or basically where you develop small chips which have so many transistors in it, which can work very fast. So there are many areas actually where the private industries, the entrepreneurs, the startups can play a role, and they have all started doing it. And so which will actually enable the country to grow faster in this space sector. Now, when you talk about Indo-US collaboration in this area, also it can be company to company directly also. It need not go through ISRO or through space. So it can be a bilateral cooperation between the two countries with entrepreneurs or the companies directly collaborating on each other. Of course, through the umbrella of the governments.
Absolutely.
So there are ample opportunities.
This throws a lot of light, Professor. You mentioned artificial intelligence, robotics, advanced materials, subsystems for satellites and rockets. So these are all the areas, as Professor mentioned, where there is opportunity for the private players to contribute in a much larger way. That's that. I mean, that throws a lot of light, Professor. Thank you for that, Professor. Before we wind up, one last question is: what would be your word of advice for a lot of young entrepreneurs who want to take up space industry as a career? I mean, we see that there are a lot of space startups coming up, but as a very senior person who has seen a lot of things, where do you see this going towards?
As I was just mentioning, that India is actually opening up.
Yeah.
And always people say in economy terms, India is economic superpower in the sense because it has such a huge market.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it is a space or anything else, for example, textiles or automobiles or communication and things like that. So space sector, if you look, is playing a very important role in each and every sector of the country.
Okay.
Even when we are talking to each other, right? It is a space sector which is playing a role, right?
True.
From the morning till the night, we watch television, we look at 100 channels, right? Mobiles, right? Automobiles, right?
Yes.
GPS, navigation,
GPS.
communication, right?
Exactly.
Travel, every sector, railways, defense, strategic purposes, every sector space requirement is there.
Okay.
And that is why it is only for the people to tap it now.
Okay.
It is not that you have to define something that, okay, you work in this area or you work in that area. Any area you take, there is an empty.
Okay.
And I mentioned many of them to you. During my discussion about in fact, you can also talk about optical sensor development.
Okay.
Right. And now with the space, large number of constellation of satellites being talked about for communication, right?
Yes.
Elon Musk is talking about a very large constellation where you can have a network. It is like a Wi-Fi, space Wi-Fi kind of.
Yes.
And people are talking not of that on planet Earth. People are talking about on how we can do on Moon. Or on Mars, for example. Right. So it is all left to the imagination of the new entrepreneurs. Who can contribute. They can talk about data mining. They can talk about software development. They can talk about hardware development. They can talk about material development, electronics development, anything.
Thank you, Professor. Professor, as I mentioned earlier, we will be participating in the Space Technology Show on 24th and 25th of May, wherein we'll be releasing this bulletin. And I'm very sure your interview will be one of the most interesting part of the bulletin. And I can't find words to thank you for giving this kind of time for us. And we are back in India in June. In July or August, at your convenience, it will be our pleasure to come and meet you at PRL at Ahmedabad. We would definitely like to call upon you. But Professor, I'm sure you also travel. Are there travel plans to come to this part of India? Do you travel to Chennai?
I do that. I go to meetings to Bangalore. I go to meetings to Tirupati, which is one of the centers at Gadanki. I do come to Sriharikota for launches, but not very often for the last 2 years because of COVID and a lot of restrictions there. The travel has come down, but it is slowly picking it up. But certainly you are most welcome to come to PRL, and it will be nice to have a personal discussion rather than remote discussion which you are having right now. And there are many areas which we can talk about later on when you are thinking about it. But one thing I would like to just comment upon before.
Please.
It is not just the space sectors. There are a lot of R&D areas also, like research areas, where there are need. For example, you must have heard about India discovering an exoplanet. Actually, it happened in 2018 from PRL. Using the Mount Abu telescope of PRL and an instrument which was indigenously developed in PRL, we discovered the first exoplanet from the country. And it was even hailed by Prime Minister of India.
Okay.
which he did.
Okay.
So it is not just the instrumentations for planetary missions or space program of India. We do a lot of research for astronomy, astrophysics, or solar physics. For example, the Aditya mission, which is coming up.
Yeah, Aditya mission.
And it is going to be launched either this year or early next year. And we have contributions there. So there are many areas in which PRL keep contributing. And it would be nice for you to come over here and then.
Definitely, Professor. We keenly look forward for that opportunity. I had the opportunity of meeting a couple of friends in the government of Tamil Nadu yesterday, and someone remarked that Bangalore is doing very well in space, Thiruvananthapuram is doing, Hyderabad is doing because of the remote center. There is a feeling that Chennai has missed out. I mean, what is your comment on that?
It's not a question of missing out. It's not a question of missing out. See, it all depends upon how things evolve.
Okay.
Chennai, I don't know whether you're aware, but there are industries which are participating in the space program.
True.
Chennai.
Yeah,
and yes, industries are there which are taking part in that. So it's, if you look at the whole ecosystem of the space program in India, it is spread across the country.
It is spread across.
Certain places we have only tracking stations. For example, if you go to Northeast, we have in Shillong, we have a center, which is looking at communication part as well as local requirements for the Northeast country. Particularly the floods, the greeneries, the forestry, the sectors, lightning, for example, which is very high in the Northeast part. Because of the orography and the climatology of that and the pattern. So it all depends upon how things evolve.
And as Professor mentioned, it is spread out all over India.
All over India. Just name any state, it is there.
It is there. Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor. I mean, you have given your time on a busy day in the morning. We are going to make a report of this and send it across to you for your approval. We'll be actually doing it as 2 parts. One part will be made as an exhaustive interview, like we have had the opportunity of interviewing Mr. Dan Dambaka, the Executive Director of American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics. We also interviewed Dr. Christian Fichtlinger, who is the Director of International Astronautical Federation. So like that, we'll be making this as an exhaustive interview. And then we'll also be making use of portions of this interview for the bulletin. We'll be more than happy to send it across. And once you approve, we'll be going to print. This is essentially a promotional exercise. And we would like to see, with the help of leaders like you, India moving up further and further in space, in space technology.
Good. Very nice. Very nice meeting you and talking to you. And we look forward to be having further meetings in the future.
Please. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.